What the fuck is this show? I love Rick and Morty, but unfortunately there is a whole section of the population who can't watch it because of its content. Children. Out of the 8 billion people in the world, 2.4 billion of them are children, meaning that a whole third of the population can't watch Rick and Morty, so I'm going to take it into my own hands to make my own child-friendly version of the show, starting with a short 1-minute concept episode to prove that it can work. Just don't tell the lead writer of Rick and Morty that we're making the show for kids. Yeah, Justin Roiland might get a bit too excited when he hears the word kid, and come chasing after me in an ice cream van offering me free candy. Allegedly. I started by writing a script all by myself and not using the help of ChatGPT at all. I took all of their common phrases and tropes and made them a bit less controversial so that it would be okay for anyone to watch. But I don't want to reveal it yet. You'll have to watch the end to see what the episode is about. Now all I have to do is train AI voices to sound like Rick and Morty, make character models for each of the characters, rig and weight paint the characters so they can be animated, build the sets for 3 different locations as well as their ship, animate a whole minute-long episode, render, and finally animate their mouths. Yeah, should be pretty easy. Definitely isn't going to take me a whole week. Right? Let's start with the character models. As usual, I'm going to be animating this in a free software called Blender. When making characters, I like to start with the heads to help me get the right proportions for the body. It also happens to be the easiest part for me, so it helps to get me back into the workflow. Both Rick and Morty's heads are just icospheres which I slowly sculpted to make the right shape. The hair for Rick was really easy to do, considering it is just sticking out everywhere and doesn't really follow any set pattern. Here are the heads, and then here are their bodies. I recently discovered that these characters are at least loosely based on the movie Back to the Future, which honestly I should have seen coming because they look extremely similar. I always thought that Rick Sanchez was meant to be Einstein and Morty was just some random kid. But right now, they're just stiff models that can't be moved. And considering Rick is famous for doing whatever the f*** this dance is, that is a problem. I gave them some bones, which at first automatically merged with the wrong parts of the models, which meant I had to spend half a day cleaning it all up. But that's fine. It's worth it for the 2.4 billion children that will all inevitably watch this video. I just had to go through each bone individually and tell them which parts of the model I wanted them to control. Now that I have the characters, I might as well do a quick test animation to see how they're working.
Morty, I found this new channel.
What is it called?
It's called MPT, and you should subscribe right now.
Oh, I've seen that before. It's kind of cringe how repetitive his videos are, though.
Shut up, Morty. Click subscribe, or I will turn you into a pickle version of yourself.
I swear to God, if I see any comments saying that they found this show through Fortnite, I might just kill myself. I actually found it through a music video collaboration with a rap group called Run the Jewels a few years ago, which I would highly recommend you watch if you don't already know about it. But let's get back on track. Here is what I came up with for their ship. Unlike most things in the show, there is actually a 3D version of the ship that is used in the actual series, so it was pretty easy to just make a simple copy of it. But now I need to make their garage. There are some weird, seemingly random changes that have been made to the design of their garage throughout the years, with different details either being removed or added. So I think I'm just going to go for a bit of an in-between, I think. And here it is, complete with all of the main details that seem to stay pretty consistent. There are just a few extra things I need to make. This is the famous portal gun, which for the purposes of this episode will be called the interdimensional portal device, because the word gun might not be child-friendly enough. And here is the actual portal. It's really cool, and I definitely didn't just follow some random guy's tutorial on how to make it. Oh yeah, I also made a fantasy world for the end of the episode, but I don't want to ruin the surprise, so you'll see that later. Now we're on to the longest part of the process, the actual animation. I have some voices from an AI which I trained on footage of the characters talking from the show, and I need to go through and line up all of the keywords that they say with distinct movements to make it look like they are actually talking, as well as all of the other stuff like them walking around. Most kids shows just have looping walk cycles and set movements that the characters do, but I prefer to do it all by hand to make it look at least somewhat interesting. See, I care about you guys. But luckily, both Rick and Morty don't actually move around all that much when they're talking. They kind of just move from one pose to the next, which is helpful for me because it doesn't mean I have to do quite as much work. But while I'm animating, I just want to show you my favorite moment from the show.
Honestly, I'm proud of us for not.
Totally. Would have been cheap.
Yeah, real low-hanging fruit, and we're better than that.
I think I'm gonna start my own religion called Swimmianity, where we all pray to the writers at Adult Swim, excluding Justin Roiland for fairly obvious reasons. Rick and Morty would be our version of the Bible, and Pickle Rick is like our Jesus. But now I've finished animating everything. Just look at how many keyframes I had to place to get this thing together. Each one of these points is a different part of the characters having to be moved to create a new pose. The mouth animation in Rick and Morty is quite unique, with the mouths really pushing the boundaries of the head shapes. It's slightly reminiscent of Wallace from Wallace and Gromit, whose mouth also tends to come out at the sides.
Jeez.
I could have tried to make a head sculpt that allowed for a bone to be placed in it to control the mouth, but I decided that was too hard, so I just went into Critter and drew all of the mouths myself. There is a different mouth shape for each of the sounds that we make when we're talking. For example,
subscribe to the MPT channel because I spend so long making these videos that now I'm failing every class at school.
now all I have to do is do that for a whole minute of animation and it's done. Please share this video around because I genuinely think a full-length child-friendly episode would be really funny, but I can't do it without you guys. Right, here we go.
Hey, Rick,
Morty, hand me the interdimensional portal device. I've got an idea.
what are we doing today?
I have a cool idea for a quick adventure to a new universe.
Oh, geez, Rick, I can't wait. Here's the interdimensional portal device.
Thanks. Trust me, Morty, this one is a fun one. More fun than the biggest ride at a theme park. More fun than surfing a tidal wave of soda through a wormhole. Just come and see.
Oh boy, I can't wait to see where we're going.
We're only a few human Earth minutes away now, Morty. It looks like we're heading towards the right place.
Yay, finally! I've been waiting for ages.
Oh yeah, get ready, Morty. I forgot to mention that this planet is unlike anything you have ever seen before.
Wait, what did you just say?
Just go along with it. This, Morty, is the land of candy.
Oh, geez, thank you, Rick. I love you so much.
Now you can run around and eat as much as you want. Sure, you might get diabetes, but who cares? As long as you're having fun.
I can't wait.